Hello guys, Michael here with another video. Do you hate women? Because if you do, it probably has to do with a lot of bad past experiences with women. Especially those women you felt attracted to. I mean, you might have had tons of rejections. You might had a lot of situations where you felt like something could be happening, and then in the end she completely dumped you for someone else instead, that you find is way less worthy than you because you made a lot more things for her than that guy. And if any man experiences a lot of rejections and a lot of dumped dates, like something went on and then men got dumped in the end, it doesn't take long before most men start hating women, because it takes a strong hit on our honor. It really does. It is really, in some way, as we say in Asia, for example, it is something like losing the face, not only for the women but also for yourself as a human being, when you're trying to get women to like you, to want to date you and so on, and they don't. They just reject you. I mean, that is a big blow to our ego and to our existence, to our drive of why we are existing in this world. All right? It is really hard. But I want you to think about this, because self-pity, even though there is a reason for feeling self-pity, is a reason to feel negative, even though there is, it's much better to focus on how to solve it. All right? And in this video, I want to talk about the first step of how to refresh yourself completely. So first, if women reject you a lot and they don't like you in that way, now talking about the romantic way, they don't like you to be their boyfriend. They don't like you to chase them in a romantic way and being witty and funny and playful with them. They just don't want that. With all fairness, it's not women's fault. So you cannot hate women because it's not their fault. It's actually your fault. Because if you're not attractive towards women, how can they pretend to be attracted to you? They can't, right? So you have to become attractive. But here comes the thing. How to become attractive. Do you want to go with what self-claimed coaches are saying and what they are believing? Most of them are saying that you should power up yourself by being super ripped, super successful, and all those things. Being really a cool alpha male in order to attract women. And therefore you have to start hitting the gym, start advancing in your career, start earning serious money, and forget about everything before you reach that point. And once you reach that point, women will come automatically. But that's wrong. They won't come at all. So forget about that idea. Well, be average. I spoke a lot about this in my last video, but average is good enough. If you are already average, then you need to start learning the elements that actually sparks attraction in women. And believe me, it's not the skill that guys knows today. It's not a skill that you're born with. No, it's not. It's a skill that have to be learnable. It is a skill that need to be taught with strong intent. Because without that strong intent, you would not be able to talk to women in a way that is actually influential, that is actually based on relationship building theory made into practice. And if you know how to build relationships based on proven methodologies from the science, then, not until then, you can actually make something happen. So what about your past experiences? So my advice here is that your past experiences was based on you having your old behaviors, and your old behaviors were unattractive. I wouldn't say it were terrible. It might not have been terrible, but they haven't been good enough for women to like you, and therefore your old behaviors need to change. But if you want to change your old behaviors, do you need to change your personality? Do you need to be someone you're not, sort of? Do you need to pretend to be someone else? Well, no. Most of that is the pickup artist stuff. But what I'm talking about is not changing your personality, not changing the man you are. No, It's actually the opposite. We're going to make you more you than ever before by awareness. More you than ever before. So the first step in order to change behaviors, and those behaviors are working on women. Those behaviors attract women through emotional connection. So how can we change behaviors? Well, we need to change the mindset first. You're still you, but we need to change the mindset. Hear me till the end. Your mindset has probably been a lot about yourself. How you are going to tell great stories, how you are going to play around and be funny, witty, and you are the one who talks mostly. You are the one who drives the conversation forward by talking, by coming up with a lot of interesting things to talk about that you believe is interesting. Maybe you look around the room and trying to make some funny things for things you see. Anything to keep the buying temperature up, the positivity when you're talking to women. But that is not influential at all. This is pure science, and the science is very clear here. In order to become really, really interesting for women and for people in general, is to be interested in them. So your first step is to adopt your mindset to be interested. You need to give your full attention towards the other person. Your undivided attention to that woman you're talking to. Completely. You have to make the conscious decision to, like, you know what? I'm not the one who's going to be super funny and super playful. Now in the beginning, I'm going to give her all the attention. And whatever she says, I'm going to let her express that fully. That is the first mindset you need to adopt. Because nothing is more powerful to make people talk with you as an active listener. An active listener means that you're listening and you're commenting about things that she says. And you can comment it by using mirroring. You can comment it by using reflective listening skills, by asking a follow-up question, and so on. That is being an active listener. It doesn't mean that you're going to be quiet all the time, but you are listening actively by coming up with statements, coming up with comments, new questions, and so on. That is what it means to be active in listening. All right? So you need to be an active listener. So your first step, poof, is to shift your attention from yourself towards the other person completely. Make that conscious decision. And now, what about the behaviors? Well, there are a couple of behaviors that you need to adapt to become really good at this. But it takes time. So let's focus on only two things, all right? The first one is that I want you to ask two questions. All right, your goal is to ask two questions to find out something. One question could be, how is your day? All right. And the second question can be, what do you think of X? And you can use the surroundings. Like if you're in a cafe, you can ask her, so what do you think about this cafe? Or what do you think about the city of Stockholm? Do you like it? What do you think about working here exactly? What do you think about this company? Whatever it is, you can use those two questions. And then you quiet after that. So the behaviors here is actually asking questions like, oh, normally I don't ask questions like that with intent, but I want you to do it with intent right now. And whatever she says, let her talk. All right, just let her talk without you interrupting. That is what I want you to practice on. Let's say now that she's going to give you a very short answer. Then what I would like you to do is to use the magic word, oh, tell me a little bit more. So for example, if you ask her, how's your day? And she said, good. And she's probably going to ask you, and how are you? And you said, well, it's good. And then you're going to look at her and say, you know what? Tell me more about your day. What made it good? What made it good? Tell me more. Oh, what do you think about this place? Oh, I like it. Okay. Tell me more. So that is going to encourage you to get into the vibe of giving the attention or giving the spotlight to the other person while you're listening with curiosity. Try it out. It's going to really change your perspective of things. Well, once you're getting good at it. In the beginning, it might be a little bit, what can I say? It feels a little bit unnatural because normally you might not ask intentional questions in general. But if you start asking intentional questions and then learn how to listen and trying to, apply the follow-up question, tell me more, you will soon get a hang of it. And then when they start talking, there will be a lot more elements or a lot more techniques and methods to use, but that is something we're going to focus on in the future videos. Right now, your first goal is to actually make them talk while you are listening fully. All right? So this training is basically for you to get used to the idea of shifting your mindset from yourself towards them completely. So every time you feel nervous, every time you don't know how to become interesting, you feel boring, just make it about them. Start asking those 2 questions that you can choose yourself, and then be quiet and completely listen to what she says. Be curious, because you want to hear the answer of what she is saying. All right? Because you're asking those 2 questions for a purpose. You want to find out the answer. So keep doing that, and comment below about how that went. And let's make this much more comprehensive and advanced and effective in the future for the future videos. All right, I'll see you in the next video.